we're going to talk about teenage fantasy. Teenage fantasy started with one sound. And I want to introduce you to something called reamping today. Reamping is when you take a sound and you add saturation to it. And I think that is very like professional producer shit that I wasn't into before. So let's start with this sound. It's right up here. You see this? Right here. So it was this sound. And I told you in the last one that I was getting really involved in creating 80s vibes synths because I love the way they sound. So I fell in love with this sound. This is how everything started. Then I got into this. All this is kind of Jupiter 8, Juno 106 stuff. Then I added this. When I added that, I thought that would be really cool on a guitar. So, guitar. They need kind of like a nasty haul, right? Right? It's really right here. So that's kind of like what I kind of like was in this mood to find a vibe, you know? Right? So it's like I'm just sitting around kind of just noodling. So I just kind of got deep into the guitar for a long time, but I only ended up keeping one part of it, which was, and then you can hear that. I'll show you this on the screen. It was right here. Let's go over here, which is this guitar here. Really holly and like just sitting in the background. I wanted someone to get into the feel of the song. It didn't need like a lot of communication because it was doing so well on its own just with one synth, right? So then it was all about warming up the whole song. How do we warm up this song? And to me, I think you just need an 808, right? The 808. It actually didn't start with the 808. It started like this. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. I'll show you. Here we go. And then obviously you can hear. It's almost like you can feel what's supposed to happen next, right? It's like, right? You can hear it. So it goes right here. Right here. Let me put this back on the screen. You can feel it. It's like a feeling. Here we go. And because it's like 80s vibe, you know, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, you have to put some hall on it. It's called hall verb. Then a little drop sound in between. You know what I mean? Makes you feel like you're like way back in the 80s. Or 90s, late 90s. And then of course, it wasn't finished because it doesn't have any bass. And I wasn't gonna play the bass to it because I thought that was gonna be real cheesy. So instead, I dropped an 808 that just fucking goes hammer. Ready? Alright, so this is it. So now, and then I added some wind chimes, and I believe that's all there is on the beat here. It just didn't need a lot, you know what I mean? So this one's we used to be anything you're telling me something strange. We're living in a teenage fantasy. Now, what makes this hook special? Teenage you and me is how it happens. So I have this synth right here, which I'll show you, which is this one. So I played it low. It's like as if somebody was already singing, you know? Then I took it and I put the high part here, right here. Okay? So you kind of have most of the beat now. There's a guitar singing in this. And it's like, we can be where we used to be. Anything that you're telling me, I'll take you back to our old street. We're living in a teenage fantasy. Teenage you and me. So what makes it special is not so much that. What makes it special is how I started putting everything around it, like literally everything, just wrapping it like a blanket in lyrics and voice. So something street. So this is the first. Living in a teenage. And then I did something very special. I did like a rap background. So I just kind of sang behind it like this. Teenage you and me. But sometimes like I just didn't do the whole piece. We can be what we used to be. And you can see from this brown one. Anything that you're telling me, just like where I wanted to emphasize. Back to something street. Then of course I dropped my doubles in there. Hand them left and right so you can like feel the lyrics. But then what I did was a call and response vibe. So this is one of my favorite things about production, is like you can do whatever you want. So my first response was this one right here. So we can be what we used to be, really be. Anything that you're telling me, I'll take you back to something street, back to our street. We're living in a teenage fan. And I think I did teenage fan in a teenage fantasy. The harmony, and then so that's this one that you're seeing here. Then I started rapping it in all these other vibes that I heard, right? We can be what we used. That was We can be what we used to be. And this one says that you're telling me. And then right here, let me just show you this. I think this is so cool. This was the greatest part about making this track. We can be what we used to be. Anything that you're telling me. Anything you're telling me. Right? That's that one. Then under it is this one. Anything you're telling me. Anything you're telling me. So it's like I'm constantly buggering off the lyric to create a vibe. And then here, right? And then here, this is, and then the next one was, living in. Then the next one, oh yeah. And then I think this is, that was Oh, you got me, baby. And then the other one is I want you, baby. Ooh, oh, something like that. So when you put them all together, it's beautiful. Here, let me show you. We can be what we used to be. What you're getting is a feeling more than anything else. Teenage fantasy. You're inside of a feeling. You know me. Teenage you and me. See, the synth made me feel a certain way. It made me feel like I was going back in time. Like I was back like I was born in the 80s, so it made me feel like I was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. It made me feel like I was in high school and in love again for the first time. And so that's what this song was about. So I had to sing the first verse because it just had to be sung. It couldn't be rapped. You know what I mean? It just couldn't be. So it was, and once again, now I started rapping vocals and doing some really cool stuff with vocals. So this is what I did here. Let me throw this back. Let me throw this back. Remember what we had, so innocent, but we're not back. Then you did me like that. Threw away what we had, and I will never forget. So it's very empty in the first piece. I kind of did a rap ad lib, right? Remember what we had. Let me throw this back. So innocent, but we were in our bag. Then you did me like that. Threw away what we had. Then I did a call response thing on the track, and I will. And this took me a long time to figure out. I will never, girl. You know you are mine. The perfect the perfect line. And you can't tell me I'm lying, 'cause we were meant to be. And then I think it's 'cause we were meant to be. What's it say? Remember what we had. And I know you act like it's fine. You can't tell me I'm lying, 'cause we were meant to be. And I know you act like it's fine. Teenage dream. Ooh, yeah. And you're my teenage dream. Oh yeah. So it was kind of like this call response thing that I did. I really liked a lot. So this is what it sounds like when you put it all together. And there's harmonies going on in the back. It's just a lot of feel shit. A lot of just get into it. You know what I mean? Get with your girlfriend, take her panties off, and have some sex type shit. You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. And I won't ever forget. Girl, you know you are mine. The perfect life we live. You can't tell me I'm lying. We were meant to be. And I know you act like it's fine. You're my teenage dream. Ooh, oh yeah. We can be what we used to really be. Anything that you're telling me. I take you back to something strange. Back to my street. Then I was gonna have my friend Harry J get on a vocal, but you know me, I'm too fast. So he's finishing his album, so he's probably gonna feature on this after he's finished with his album. So I said, fuck it, let's throw it back to some Ludacris shit and Ludacris Usher shit, and let's just make a rap. So I made a rap to it instead. So this is what happened. Fantasy. Remember how this felt? One hand holding on your belt, walking through the hallway so young, everything so big, so fun. And that's so true about high school. Everything was such a big deal, and everything was so fun. It was the most epic thing that had ever happened to you in your life. Ah, you're like, oh my god, she kissed me. Ah, actually, the way guys are like, was there tongue, bro? And you'd be like, yeah, there was tongue. He's like, that's awesome. That's nice. Let's keep going. So anyway, so that was the idea. Is everything so big, so fun. But let me lay down the Mac and run my fingers down the small of your back and give you tingles. Have you freaking out fast to turn a girl to a freak in the grass. Because back in the day, we used to hang out at the park. And when you hung out at the park, you did freaky park shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit that in the park that you wouldn't do in a park when you're young. But you got to do it when you're young because you're like, yeah, all over your girlfriend, right? Is it true or not true? You did it in the park too. You know it.
No.
Not sex, but make out. You never made out in the park? Oh, of course. See, behind the scenes knows. She was all getting it. I was getting it in the park too. I was on the park bench. Wait till everybody passes by, and then I'm like, so that's what that's about. Turn a girl to a freak in the grass, right? What's gonna happen, right? Oh, and then girl to a freak in the grass. I'm throwing singles like she a freak, on the pole. And then this is kind of just like a joke. You know what's gonna happen? Turn a boy to a man. He starts rapping. So I'm just like saying, some stupid shit about me. Like, I started rapping because I had sex. It's not true, but it's still funny. What's gonna happen, right? Turn a boy to a man. He start rapping. Dang, I was shy back then till you put the stain. Call me now I'm 3,000. I mean, I did end up having sex in high school, so I suppose there was something Andre 3000 about me after that, but. Anyway, imagine what could have happened if we didn't let it in. So let's bring it in. Bring it back to the story. Imagine what could have happened if we didn't let it end. So let's bring it in back to when everything was about to begin and get it in. And this is actually a song about my girlfriend who I was dating when I was a freshman. She was a sophomore. And we were like totally in love. And we thought for sure. I can't tell you her name because I don't want you to look her up. And I'm sure you could find her. But anyway, she had to leave. Her dad got a job in Pennsylvania, and I thought, oh man, we hadn't had sex or anything like that, but because we were 15 years old, but we were really, really liked each other, and so that's where this kind of whole song comes from. This teenage fantasy. It's like as if she had come back, to LA. And I was like, we can be what we used to be. Anything that you're telling me, I'll take you back to our old street. And I remember my parents used to drop me off at her house. And her parents used to drop her off at my house. We're living in a teenage fantasy. So it's just something nostalgic, something beautiful for you to enjoy. So that's Teenage Fantasy in a nutshell, how I produced it, what I did with it. I hope y'all enjoyed. Peace.